inspired you to pursue a career in voice acting?
So I was always into voices when I was a kid. I loved cartoons. I loved mimicking voices, my friends. I came up with my own radio shows, themes, and would interview my friends. And I just always thought that, changing your voice and making it sound different was really cool. And I just kind of figured everybody could do it. My main inspiration for anything showbiz was singing. And so I was really into music and all the music from my parents. I started playing piano by ear and writing songs, and then I was an avid reader for a while, so I got into songwriting and putting it all together and just kind of being silly, being, it's kind of like a hobby, something I did for fun. And then as I got into the music industry, started singing in bands and stuff and toured with Vince Vance and the Valiants, I got more exposure with other bands and got the referral to audition for Chuck E. Cheese for the voice of Helen the Hen, the singing voice for one season, and Jimmy Toys. And from there I got more exposure and I got the audition to audition for Dragon Ball Z in 1998.
Was that your first voice acting role that you were compensated?
Compensated, like as a professional, was at Jimmy Toys, where I was just the voice of anything and everything. It could be a singing frog, it could be Easter Bunny singing a song about Peter Cottontail, so it really wasn't any particular casting, but it was went into the sound bites went into the toys all over the United States. And so if you see one that you could push the the little hand and it would start dancing around and singing, it could have been my voice. Yep. So that was my first actual. And then I also did jingles and wrote parodies for morning show radio, kind of like for some comedy networks. So that's where I kind of got my start in the radio business.
Okay, wow, cool. What role do you feel has been the most challenging?
Oh, and that's pretty easy. The role of Super Saiyan 2 Gohan in the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z, I had to make my voice sound very gritty and tough and scream, and there were a lot of battle scenes and screams and yells and power-ups and exertions and stuff. So that was probably the most difficult and challenging, because I had to go from just a regular voice like this to "Let's do this," over and over extended periods of time. So there was a lot of vocal fatigue, and I got raspy. Try to use it to my advantage, because I was singing in bands the whole time, all of those years. So I was able to kind of like rest in between and take care of my voice. I kind of knew what to do. But that was the most challenging, because it's the least like my actual voice.
Great. So, what advice would you give to aspiring voice actors?
So my advice would be start practicing. Take acting classes. There's workshops available everywhere, more so now than ever. And start really figuring out what you think you're best at, and kind of like record yourself, get a home studio. There's all kinds of ways to do that without spending a lot of money. And like I said, get some experience doing it. Get some experience running through the audition process. There's a lot of websites out there like Casting Call, Backstage, Upwork, and things like that, where you can set up a profile, and you can start auditioning for things that may or may not pay very well, but it would get you in the rhythm of learning how to develop your skill, audition, and you kind of go from there. You can get an agent at some point if you start getting more experience. That's what I would recommend to start out with. I also offer consults online. If you go to stephanienadolny.com, we can set up a consult, and then if you want to go from there with coaching, we can do that too.
So you do some coaching yourself?
I can do some coaching, yes.
Okay.
Especially for beginners. And then I can refer out to other coaches that I recommend.
Okay, cool, great. What are some of the most important lessons you've learned in the industry?
I've learned that it's not always about talent. So if you keep going at it every day and do something towards your goal, and you stay motivated and you're passionate about what you do, and just really tap into that resilience, I think the relentless part of it can help. Talent and relentlessness, I think, go hand in hand, as far as if that's what you want to do, especially if you want to take it into a career. But it just takes a lot of dedication, and even when you're seasoned, like I've been doing this 30 plus years, the phone doesn't just start ringing. You have to go out there and do something towards your goal every day, and don't let yourself get stagnant, because it takes a lot of work to get where you're at, especially in Texas. It's a right to work state, so there's no residuals or royalties, so you really have to really work hard to make a living at it. and stay focused on your passion. And you may have to do some other jobs in between, or you're just self-employed and you can just try for radio commercials. You can be extras on movie sets. It's just it takes a lot of time, but you have to put the time in to do all of the research online to kind of get started.
So you have to get a secondary job.
Yeah, it's
to focus on the main one.
Right, and you have to be good with balancing your money, because you'll have to pay your living expenses, and then you have to just decide how much time do you have towards it. And like I said, the more you do it, the more you're naturally going to get better at it, and learning the etiquette, learning how different companies hire their talent. It just takes a lot of research, but if you do it a lot and you spend a lot of time towards it and keep striving, don't give up.
Oh, that's great insight. So how do you prepare for a role? Is there anything special you do to prepare?
Oh, yeah. It depends on the audition. So if it's like for an animated feature, I just get as much information as I can about it. A description of the character, the age, the tone. If there's a reference online, I go check out the reference and listen to that, see if it's something I can do. If it's got like an accent that I don't think I can really do well, I might pass on that character. But if you don't try out at all, there's no chance that you'll be considered. So I also try to jump on auditions before the deadline, so that I don't miss any opportunities there. And sometimes I got to stay up late, to get them done on time. But I like to research the character, maybe research the show if it's an anime. You can research it online. You can check it out on, say, YouTube, and practice the voice, and then give it a couple runs, and then go for it.
Okay, some fun questions.
Okay.
What are some of your favorite anime TV shows? Do you have a favorite?
Besides
Dragon Ball.
Right. Besides, I really like Dragon Ball Daima, but that's our new one. It just came out. Back when I first started voice acting, we were working on some other projects where I wasn't cast in any significant role, but I had a part in it because I was cast as the anime theme singer. So I would say Yu Yu Hakusho, Kitty Grade. I sang the opening and closing themes, and Case Closed. So I would say those other shows that the studio Funimation was working on while we were dubbing Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z.
Do you watch anything like outside of your work? Any TV shows or movies that you really like to watch?
Yeah, I like late night talk shows, but I like comedy. I like to watch comedy. I love to laugh. It really is the best medicine. So I like comedies. When I get time, I like to watch movies, and now with streaming services and things like that, it's just much easier to find the things you want, even if it's already aired. When I was a kid, it was on TV. If you missed it, you missed it. So it just seems like there's too much actually to watch. So you just kind of have to hone in on your faves.
Oh, okay, I see. Was there a role that you auditioned for and you didn't get the part?
Oh yeah, I'm sure. There's tons. It's very competitive, and you never know what the client or the director's looking for. So you may be really good at what you do, and you may be really good at one or two different things, but if you don't have the sound that they're looking for, they go with someone else. And that's something you have to know going into this industry, and understand that rejection is part of it. You're just not going to fit every role, or you're just not going to have the right tone or the right intonation or the right timbre of your voice. Timbre, I think is what I meant. Timbre. I'm tired. But I tried out for all the female roles in Dragon Ball Z. I tried out for Poir, Chaozu, Chi-Chi, Bulma. I think at one point I tried out for Videl. But I'm super happy and grateful I was cast as Gohan. It was a challenge, but it was a whole new career for me that I kind of didn't really see coming. But by staying steadfast and being willing to work hard and get in the industry and ask questions and get some exposure and go to industry parties and things like that, that's just a good way to do it. Meet other people, see what they're doing. Maybe they can help you with an audition, or you can help them with an audition. But it's definitely something that I recommend you help others, and likewise they should help you as well, because nobody really gets anywhere in any kind of career. We're all by themselves.
Let's flip the coin on that. Was there a role that you auditioned for that you knew you blew but still got the part?
Oh, that's a good one. So one of them would probably be East Kai. So I was already in recording for Dragon Ball Z 20 plus years ago, and there was the scenes where East Kai, West Kai, King Kai, they were in the afterworld, and I was just there. I had like 15 minutes left on my time, so the director said, "Hey, try some wacky voice for this character." They showed me East Kai, and so I was like, "Oh yes, oh my!" And I was just playing, like I thought it was just, and it was so wacky and weird and completely different from any voice I'd been cast in, and I wasn't expecting it, but I got cast as East Kai, so I got to come in for an hour or two and record, 5 or 6 episodes of a weird, wacky, I'm the queen, I won the gold. And, and I didn't know if I was going to get it, but it was still, it was fun for me. And if you exude that, that enthusiasm and your voice sounds completely different and it fits the character, then maybe you'll get the role.
One final question.
Yeah.
A fun one.
Okay.
Who is your celebrity crush?
Celebrity crush?
Yes.
2 hours later.
Well, when I was a kid, I liked, like in middle school, I liked Menudo. Yeah, because I loved music. So a lot of my celebrity crushes were musicians. I think also Ricky Schroeder and John Stamos. But now I'm into maybe, I don't know.
2 hours later.
Maybe Jimmy Fallon. I think he's amazing. He can sing, he can perform, he's funny. Because for me, it's your talent and your vivacity for life that really kind of gets me more interested in them. And I'm also a big Charlie Kirk fan, so I'm really watching a lot of his stuff. God rest his soul. So I'm kind of listening to a lot more politics just because I want to know. I want to really research things, and so I really like people that are driven and outspoken about what they believe.
It was blast talking to you. Thank you, Stephanie. It was
You're
great.
welcome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Can you give us a little Dragon Ball Z?
Yeah. We don't have to do this, Cell. This fight is meaningless. Yeah! Power pole extends.